Post Publications Chapbook Prize is given out twice a year to a, what should I say, a female writer? I just want to be right. A female writer showing promise who has not published too terribly much and whose poetry, bottom line is, I like a lot. Julie is the, as I said earlier, the third winner of this prize, and I could not be happier than to have been introduced to her poetry and to watch this wonderful chapbook come together under the tutelage of Claire and Lenore. Thank you so much. So Julie Howd, her first chapbook was Talking from the Knees Up, published by Dancing Girl Press in 2018. Julie holds an MFA from the University of Texas at Austin, where she received the 2015 Roy Crane Award for Outstanding Achievement in the Creative Arts. She lives in Amherst, Massachusetts, a state that I could never pronounce, like Tamaulipas. Threshold is her second chapbook, and we're so happy that she came here from Amherst to spend the evening with us and read us some of the poems. Thank you, Julie.
Well, thank you all for being here. I almost didn't make it here. I spent all of yesterday in the least favorite of liminal spaces, which is like airports and airplanes combined. So I'm very happy that I made it here. Thank you, Joe, for everything you did to get me here, and Claire and Nar for making this book really beautiful, and just being the perfect team to work with. I couldn't be happier. And of course, Kaya for writing my just weirdly wonderful introduction. So thank you all for being here. I actually don't have a book, so I'm going to and let's just give another round of applause to Blakely, who's I almost don't even want to follow up. We can just end the night there. But thank you so much. I'm so happy that you read with me tonight. I just have to pull up my playlist here. It's nice actually getting to read from a real book. We ran into the field and collaborated with monsters. We were Americans. We waved our zucchinis by the broad ends. It was the kind of season that coasts beneath public awareness. We were too busy gallivanting, smuggling storks beneath our shirts to bring to the birthing room, a secret better kept than Santa. Two waves crashing together, a revolving silence. We were impatient for a global crisis. We wanted to see where we would go when the earth was wiped to bits, resolving our deepest worry, being human again. We sipped from puddles of mud and blood and rain. It was the concoction that woke us to our animal selves. We started roaming in large, friendly herds, a desire to be one. We didn't learn to dance anymore. Our survival became the only dance, and our love for the sun and for blood. An occasion for ballyhoo. Funny in the news, funny in the way we look deeply into each other's mouths and try not to laugh. A crumb from yesterday in my pocket still, graffitoed pegasi on blue sky brick walls rising off to file their taxes on time. If only we were so attentive. The game goes on and on, though the mascot lies maimed midfield. We are the giant masked creatures, the phony hole in the backdrop, the rabbit poisoned in its home, dying absent of light. Ride the celestial BitTorrent, walk away widely like a crab, a cowboy, the residual moon sick in its dust. Freedom was famous for a spell. Calla lilies were flowers once, but now are only words. There are at least two states of being, one of which we pretend to know very well. The magic I created from my essential elements left me shriveled like a watercress root. Leave my aura alone. It's not time for that now. We can spruce it up later. A bit of lemon juice, some abstract lighting, a floating frame. Monogamy. The earth is taking requests. Do that thing where you glow so green you threaten our collective sanity. When the religious and non-religious aardvarks gather in the food court, it's a wonder there's anything left for the apocalypse bunker they've dutifully prepared. Prescient burrowers excavate the land in search of Dixie cups and copper wire for future telecom. God's gift to the world, a confetti of clapping when the sun dies down. It's a wonder I haven't reneged on you staying here, oh ghosts. Just burn my face onto some toast and your unfinished business will be forgiven. You may complete your existence as an audiogram and retire a puma in the Americas, immortal as Job's gonads. The aardvarks on high bang their gavels. Whoever gave the aardvarks gavels? September and the sleeping catamounts listen in, inhale the litigious smell. What rare parfum, what willingness to be completely bare in front of a 1,000-eyed jury. It wasn't my mistake, so I refuse to leave. Please evacuate on tiny, sterile rocket ships and surrender your fleshy physiques to the abyss. The earth has ingested too many supplements and must rest, indefinite. Glyph of a rabbit running. A blackbird waits in my empty window. I trouble the trunk for coins. I trouble the sky for magazines. Beavers wade headfirst into the scrawny sea. Fish get scared. Everyone gets scared. This type of life exists as multiple things. Orion's belt is undone. Vegans smoke cigarettes back and forth across the state. Sleepy engineers and distinguished fireflies swarm into their comforters. Trees crawl lizard-like up the sides of hospitals. I can't not mention the earth. The earth is cozened, forever on its back. Everyone says thanks and I've been so very good. Everyone says God or Santa. My head was a maze I married, and look, it's being duplicated in the dirt. An empty blackbird waits in my window. This poem is for Blakely and Baby Ocean. Having been adorned, it is the same every day. I wake, I eat, I commune with the dead. Music escapes my pillbox. Sweaters of selection shine in the boudoir like trophies, skins of a former self. Rises a skeleton mood. In the mirror, I fuss over which sadness I will wear today. Nightshades careen in their silver basket. There is a pool of blood in my abdomen instead of a baby. Gray fjords winter my cheeks, noumena of gravity. I find in them shelter from the world's harsh winds. The mouth and the anus grow indistinct, body simultaneous with soul. Like it or not, I am a part of the system's collapse. Which system? The contingent eye that flakes like bark from your brain, revealing colors. Good luck. Harps elongate the dawn, distractions set in. On a quiet evening, scientists study taste molecules as if there were such a thing. Waxwings fly in formation, eternal sky, bunch of planes, a yellow streak. Everyone sneezes into their elbow at once and wears sweaters. It's a rare type of plant that grows mid-air, eating oxygen. We've entered the jungle for no reason. Psychic melange, a piece of toast. At least the streams forgive us when we step on them. I'm out of here, said everything. We walked west into the giant matrix of a flower. Hummingbirds licked from our ears, speaking music, and bees stung us, no doubt. I'm inflorescing, I said to the inordinately large pistol by my side, which spiraled in response. Each day has its drawers. The deed is hush, hush. Envelopes open in the hands of sons and daughters like mouths saying, good luck. Thanks everyone for being here tonight. I know there's probably like a lot cooler stuff going on than a poetry reading by somebody that you've never heard of. So. I definitely appreciate everyone's presence here tonight. Saunders. It's true, I have no ambition. The light hits the something on the something. I'm hungry for a home I don't own and probably already belongs to someone else. It's like being in love and far away, the simultaneity of my multiple heart. In this light, I have contained myself. A cracked egg, a golden spill. What divides us from the factual moon? The ability to see death from the outside and feel alarm. Lesson. The parade has stopped at my door. There's noise and laughter, a little blood. A group of tanagers breaks into its constituent phonemes. I light a blue flame on reality, which, to my surprise, burns. Threshold. Is it true that pure joy is bodiless? I'm shaking my fist into the mirror and laughing. Is there pressure to be a painting? Is the academy a raw egg? My splinter has grown into a cactus, sunning on my fingertip. The lilac exits geometry. Even elephants are afraid and die alone. Is it yesterday or tomorrow that you said, now we are safe? It's difficult to recall the future unless in dreams. Nevertheless, I sublimate in the valley. There is a voice here that is speaking to me from inside my head. Ataraxia. I step with polite dawn out of my mother and into the earth. I walk along the stem of the eglantine. I consult with a collective of clouds, the sun that spun itself into reality against all purpose. Satellites puncture my atmosphere in small gasps, horripilating the sky like strawberry skin. I read the paper, I spread the butter. It is morose. The rose at the end explodes. Everyone always said dying would be beautiful. If only they knew it takes you with it. Suddenly, it's not so smart to be launching fireworks off your forehead. Tragic unicorn, someday something will crush you and you will stay small forever. Perhaps that day has already passed and you've become a bead on the left side of the abacus, waiting to be moved to the right side of the abacus, or a bead on the right side of the abacus, waiting to be moved to the left. At any moment, you could be born, laugh, dust. On the location of the soul post-mortem, the balloon rises over the earth with practiced sadness. Seagulls contemplate the weather. While purchasing LSD, I wonder, what shelter will I take at the end? What pride manifest like a many-headed denizen, fat with past? I eat my steak as if I were licking God's toes, which I am. Like the pink of dreams is unfurling in pure daylight before my eyes, which it is. There is much patterning to behold, much beauty to pill from the fields of slaughter, now dry and quietly hemorrhaging a new kind of flower. The meaning of the. I am mentally all there. I live on a small pile of history. The kites fly thither and thither in the park I've included in my brain. This world, all made up of minuscules, it's a wonder anyone came to my birthday party at all. I could have been anything. Could have been a mathematician. Could have been a hedge fund manager for slugs. Instead, confined to this linguistic bailiwick, the love of exact expression. The first one to say, life is a bowl of cereal. Something happens when I write. My hand becomes a flower. If you don't like the sun, get out of my yard. Frankly, darling, the world is a vibrant totem, moving to and fro, wet with color. I wear denim jeans for the fun of it. I take off all my clothes and throw them in the water. So long. The alchemy of cheesecake, putting a carrot in a lump of snow. Ha ha ha, he has a nose. We hump around, we pretend to be what we are for the fun of it. The danger is in what's possible. I'm scaling the wall. I crawl into nothing's mouth. My animal turns over in its sleep. Are we doing okay? Everyone's good? All right. I'll read you a few more poems. Cytokinin. I submit my foibles to the sea. Tellurians adjudicate in the compound. Great quantities of naught are eliminated, allowing the blue mermaids to ponder their self-worth. What does the body want? With the quickness of a lilac it flourishes. Upward through the xylem, the spirit molecules flow and accumulate like dust on a dandelion head, saintly nimbus, or ice crystals suspended limbless in earth's allure, refracting time backwards into our eyes, which have already died by the moment of their dissemination. One day I dreamed I was eating lunch. One day I heard a very soft noise inside my head. With a dreamer's persistence, I followed the mumbling of that ancient script and thus await my life in a state of perpetual vernissage, reveling in aboutness. There is no need to fret about what gray egg you may be incubating. Just play whatever damn song you like on a phonograph if you can, because even though some say it doesn't really sound any better, its fuzzy warmth is reminiscent of the womb. Extra. Doomsday shows up like a winter you forget is ever going to come. Is not the meaning of life to intake? Paradise strolled through once like an extra, and night kept returning like a cancer. I had to eat it all. Memorabilia. Were there really no good books this year? My attic fresh fed on the long white taffy of a life that could have encircled the globe at least as far as the Philippines. Was it enough, or was it stretched too thin like a surrealist straw through which the world and all existence enters one end and emerges from the other unchanged? A little abracadabra with your morning news. A basso that interrupts the tenor composition of this landscape. I climb into the maw of a McDonald's golden arch, and my ametropia is cured. I am the being that walks on thin ankles through your neighborhood. I am the new, dull Jesus singing songs for recognition, proselytizer to a chapel of ghosts. See how my robes sway and my snowy eyes go blind with laughter. All right, this is my last poem of the night. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. Thank you, Joe and the whole Malvern and host team for having me and for making this all possible. And thank you again, Blake, for reading. This has been truly a lovely night, and I'm looking forward to continuing to celebrate afterwards. So, thanks. All right, this is kind of a long one, so, I mean, not long, I mean, long for me is like slightly more than a page. So. Just need to prepare. Okay. Mortal, immortal jellyfish. And so the change is come. Polyurethane cerebella calculate the precise number of afterlives they must inhabit before returning to the code. Cacti fractalize off into shallow oblivion, eyeless moons rising up to the other side, chimeras sprinkling through to the other side, others wandering off like commas interrupting the cipher, the albeit cipher that makes itself known in your sleep like death's misshapen nose, and you wake up to mortal bigamy, chicken shit philosophy of the workaday simulacrum, the massive eyeball that represents guileless love. Rub-a-dub transcendentalism with your morning coffee, oozing out from bureaucratic spinnerets, nude uteri forming like clouds and dissolving above the field of sundials the penitents fertilize. God crouches down into the picture, eats straight from the bag. A giant spoon floats over the courthouse like a searchlight. I read the back of life. Cereal box, tombstone, an 11th commandment written by a committee of moss. How bored the stars are with ceilings. Periwinkle arabesques frame the fiery Armageddon, where we meet one last time in terrified fraternal orgy. Did someone say glory? The expulsion of saliva and the tetrahedral arena, digital Argus and his century of genitals, electrostatic icons shrapneling the sky like immortal jellyfish. Oh, Teratopsis, how carried away we got. Like hypnagogia post-op, in the end, there were butterflies. Thank you.